on their lands, or do not hinder or obstruct their sovereignty in any way, shape or form. This was their king telling them that. But as we know, history set a rather different course, because they didn't take notice to what they were told to do under sovereign orders of their own king. Yet they went with what their Admiralty thought should occur, which was an illegal, dishonest and criminal act committed on our people. The acknowledgement of the sovereign rights of Aboriginal peoples of South Australia to unreservedly continue to enjoy their lands as they always had in their sovereignty was reiterated by William IV in the Order to Council established government dated 23rd of February 1836. It states, and in this letter patent it contained a proviso that nothing herein shall affect or to be construed to affect the rights of any Aboriginal native of the said province to the actual occupation or enjoyment of their own persons or in the persons of their descendants of any lands therein now actually occupied or enjoyed by such natives. The Right Honourable Lord Glenegg, one of His Majesty's principal Secretaries of State, is to give the necessary directions herein accordingly. So that just reiterates what I've already spoken about. Our rights were infringed upon. It wasn't just an occupation, it was a criminal offence, and it should be viewed as that way and looked at in history as that way. And that wasn't the only thing too. You know, in 1872 there was another document came out. It was called the Pacific Island Protection Act 1872 UK. It was created due to the fact that the admirals of the UK were attempting to extend the sovereignty of the UK Parliament into the Australian colonies and the Pacific Islands contrary to UK law, remembering that is the Parliament of the UK and not the admirals who had the jurisdiction in this regard under the Settlement Act of 1701. In 1775, because the Admirals and Queen Victoria ignored the instructions of the UK Parliament, legislated, legal and lawful, directions not to interfere with the rights and the sovereignty of the native sovereigns of the Australasian colonies and Pacific Islands, the Pacific Island Protection Act 1872 was amended to clarify its intent and bind on the Queen and the Admirals. The amendment stated that the Queen of the Parliament of the UK could only exercise its laws over British subjects. 1875 amendment, and that the UK Parliament had by this amendment clarified that nothing herein or in any such order in council shall extend to be construed or extend to invest Her Majesty with any claim or title whatsoever to dominion or sovereignty over any such islands, i.e. the Pacific Islands or places as foresaid, the Australasian colonies including Australia and New Zealand, or to derogate from the rights of the tribes or people inhabiting such islands or places, or of the chiefs or rulers thereof, to such sovereignty or dominion. This Act irrefutably establishes the fact that the UK Parliament acknowledged and accepted to be subaltern to the authority of the true sovereigns of the concerned Pacific Islands and Australasian colonies. This Act has never been repealed. From the 1890s to 1900, the British subjects in Australia developed their own constitutional document, which is sent back to England, is modified by staff in the Home Office in London, passed as law and becomes known as 63 and 64 Victoria, an Act to constitute the Commonwealth of Australia 1900 UK. and this British-owned Act still remains the property of the UK Parliament and cannot be used in Australia pursuant to even the most basic tenets of international law. This document contains in section 127 a tacit yet clear recognition by the British and their subjects present in Australia of the sovereignty of the Aboriginal peoples, and says, before being repealed in 1967, section 127, in reckoning the numbers of the people of the Commonwealth or of a state or other part of the Commonwealth, Aboriginal natives shall not be counted. Why? Why? The reason Aboriginal natives were not to be counted is because we are sovereigns and not to be counted as British subjects. We are not subject to British laws. In 1967, the British subjects present in Australia vote to allow the Aboriginal peoples to vote in the elections of the government of the British subjects. There is no mention of acquiescence of Aboriginal people's sovereignty, nor are Aboriginal sovereigns stated to have become citizens of Australia or subject to the British Crown or government. And that goes right through, you know what I mean? And it's very important that my people know all over this country we have never ceded our sovereignty. We have never ceded our sovereignty. We have never acquiesced in any shape, form, to any realm on the face of this earth, not even to our neighbours in our following countries. We are true sovereigns. We are true sovereigns of this land. We have never acquiesced or given up our dominion over our lands to anybody. I think more to the point is what I've actually done is I've proclaimed my continuing sovereignty, which is an act that only a sovereign can do. Only sovereigns can make proclamations, which are laws. Now, I went over many different acts and legislations and proclamations which were given by the Crown. A lot of this information, I know sometimes it takes a while to digest a lot of new information which has just been given, but at the end of this documentary, you will see our phone numbers and contacts there. So feel free to get in contact with us in any manner you wish, and we will make sure that if you are a sovereign in this land, we will help you to become truly who you really are.
I'd like to talk about acts of treason.